Welcome to Talking Movies. Sorry about the puppy pats on the floor. It's been a few weeks since we've gotten together, and we had a nice ice storm last week, so we've watched several movies. So we're just going to talk about what we've seen recently. Of course, I have Swank and Luke with me today, and Sonny and Butch. Come here, Butch. There you go. But anyway, let's get right into it. I guess I can start. I'm just going to start by saying how awesome Game of Thrones has been so far. 3 episodes in? 4 episodes in? 3 episodes in. And yeah, it's just been really good. I've also started watching, since I have HBO now again, the 2nd season of Girls on demand. That show's kind of all over the place, but it's still very good and just a lot better than a lot of things on television, even though it has the graphic nature and whatnot. Sorry, that's my phone. But yeah, it's still very good, and just wanted to convey that. Swank, what have you seen recently?
I went to go see Jurassic Park in 3D the other night with Luke.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. 3D can get pretty distracting though for me personally. That's why I would never go see another brand new movie in 3D. For example, Avatar, or a really long movie like Avatar in 3D.
Or Avatar 2.
It takes too, because I'm already so familiar with Jurassic Park and some of those old classics that are getting re-released, where I can, the whole distracting part because they don't make 3D goggles, so it's not covering your entire plan of vision. So there's too much excess stuff coming, for me personally, coming in from my peripherals, and it just kind of gives me a headache. But yeah, man, all the colors are so vibrant, and like some of the Jeep scenes, the Jeep was just in your face, and a couple of like the whole raptor sequence towards the end with the raptors.
What's the initial year on that movie? Was it 89?
No, 93. It was the 20th anniversary.
Okay.
But like the raptors towards the end, where they're just looking at the camera and they're just
coming out.
They're alive and they're just right in your face. And
there was actually a lot of times I was like, this movie almost seems like it was made for 3D because there's a lot of like forced perspective, like plants in the foyer in the front, and a lot of depth perception.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, actually, it looked really good in 3D. I was really nervous because a lot of those movies don't translate well if they're not filmed. But they did a really great job, and it was fun to go see it like in the big theater, and I haven't seen it for years, so it was just kind of like reliving my childhood. And
that was the other thing for me too, because my parents wouldn't let me go see that first one, so I only saw the second two in the theater.
Yeah.
So that was the first time I got to see that one, which was pretty great.
Yeah, I realized this was the 4th time I saw it in the theater, but I haven't seen it since like September 1993. So
the CGI, for the most part, still holds up.
Yeah, it still looks good.
The first the whole T-Rex sequence is still one of like the greatest achievements in the series and special effects I think ever put on film. So,
and it looks, I don't know, I think we said this before, but when you actually see like the real dinosaurs, like I don't know, there's something like more realistic about that. Like I believe it more than like it was just computer baby raptor coming out of an egg.
Yeah, man. I would recommend it. Go see it. Luke?
Saw a couple movies recently. I had yesterday off, so nothing to do. Since it was still dangerous with all the falling branches out. Anyway, I watched Rebel Without a Cause a couple days ago. Really great movie. I'd never seen it before. It's kind of nice to visit those classics. Still, like, really gets you into the story. The performances are really good. Shot really cool. And it's actually, I still think it's really relevant today. I don't know how to explain it. I mean, it's melodramatic and stuff. It's 50s, but, I mean, just like, there's the one character who's kind of like, I don't know, kind of has a crush on James Dean in the movie. His little buddy in it. Just wants a friend. And then just like the parents were really good. Anyway, good actors, I should say. Anyway, then I watched Summer with Monica. It's an Ingmar Bergman film. And that was really, really, really well done. It's on the Criterion Collection. It's about two people, working class teenagers in Stockholm. They take a boat and they go up into the islands and private beaches and the archipelago in the sea by Sweden. And it's just really, really pretty, kind of exotic. But of course, nothing really works out. Like, they just want to live in this fantasy world with just them, but the world kind of keeps colliding with them. And it's really, really stirring, and kind of has a really unique third act, I guess. But Harriet Anderson is the main star, and she's just beautiful and great in that role. And it's nice to kind of see a Bergman movie that's not too moral hand-wringing. It still had its dark moments, but it's really great. Really recommend it if you like old art house films.
Summer with Monica?
Yeah, Summer with Monica, and it came out in the late 50s.
Speaking of that too, anybody
Or the
watching
50s.
who is into the Criterion Collection and Blu-ray, I would suggest checking out either one of the Last Stop stores in town within the next couple of days, because
Tons coming in.
there are tons of Criterion Blu-ray coming in, probably anywhere from 15 to 25, I'm sure. But
Yeah, I'll be talking about a lot of them in the next few weeks.
I think I'm going to be bringing a lot of those home too. But yeah.
In the tradition of girls, I also watched Tiny Furniture, which is, I think, Lena Dunham's first voyage into cinema, if you will. It's kind of like an episode of Girls, kind of like 3 episodes of Girls. But the more I think about it, and the more that I've watched Girls since then, I feel like it's kind of like in a sense how like all the characters in Seinfeld were all different parts of Larry David's personality. I feel like all the characters in Girls, she represented all of them in that movie, Tiny Furniture. Especially in the second season now, which is very, all the episodes don't really seem to go together, which is kind of interesting. But I kind of like how they're all a part of something, but they all don't really go together. But yeah, I just felt like that, like she was trying to represent all those characters in that movie, and then obviously this series Girls has come out since then, and I feel like she's just separated her character in that movie into these different characters, and it's done really well. And actually, obviously, a couple people from that show Girls are in that movie as well. But yeah, it was a good movie. Let's see here. I gave it a grade B-. So it was a little slow, kind of longer than I thought it needed to be, but I thought it was still pretty good. And her real mom and real life sister are in it too. So
it's still another one of those very independent. If you have somewhat of a voice and a movie camera and friends and family want to help you out, then you're set.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised about how almost archaic the movie looked right away. But it was good. I mean, it was a very good dialogue-driven story.
She's got a
as
good
most of her stuff is. I also watched Super 8. I've already seen it, but I watched it again with my son for the first time, and the first time I watched it, I was really disappointed. I think I would have given it a C the first time, but I'm going to bump it up to a B- this time. I just appreciated it more, I guess. I still kind of found it weird about how they get rid of the monster at the end, but I won't spoil it if you haven't seen it. So I'm going to bump it up from a C to a B-. Like I said, I just appreciated it more this time around, and it was kind of fun watching it with him because it was more of an action movie than he's seen in a while. So it made it more fun, certainly. And kind of on the same lines, I watched Attack the Block. Super fun movie.
Yeah, that movie is a lot of fun.
The movie starts out kind of weird about these kids are basically mugging this lady, and I thought you were supposed to, just from judging the movie as a face looking at the cover, you expect to be liking these kids and kind of be in their team right away. And I thought that was kind of odd the way they started the movie, but it made sense. The more it rolls on, and within 10-15 minutes of that, I was like just a part of them. just a part of those kids, and I was in love with those kids, and you know, it's obviously it's a movie about aliens, so it gets a little bit more unbelievable as it goes on. But it's a movie. It's a nice escape, and all those kids, just the acting wise, I thought they were very good, and even the creatures are pretty cool. Do they really understand or explain why their teeth are neon?
I don't think so. I think you're just supposed to.
They're
Just
just
aliens,
yeah.
Yeah,
And then they die and they just lose their light.
Yeah, it's basically at the season 4 of The Wire meets
Gremlins.
Yeah,
Like
all those tough kids. They all got potty mouths and
yeah.
But both those movies, like talk with Jurassic Park and stuff like that, just took you back to when you were. I don't know, when I was 10 or 12, just watching the Goonies every day, and E.T. and those kids just swore up a storm and
Yeah. Yeah,
fought evil.
Yeah. And just had action adventure and
Going home.
yeah, went home and the parents were all right.
Yeah, definitely. I also watched kind of a kids movie, but at least I thought it was going to be The Odd Life of Timothy Green. Watched that with my family when we were watching the trees fall last Wednesday. It was it kind of surprised me because I'm gonna give it a B+. It was a lot deeper than I thought it was going to be because it's very presented as like just this kids movie, but it was very very deep and very thought provoking. It's about this couple that can't have kids, and then they, in some weird tirade, they just kind of write down all the great things that they would expect their children to accomplish if they had kids. And they put it in a box and they bury it, and so the movie goes on from there. I won't say any more in case you want to watch it, but yeah, it was an interesting story, and yeah, it was good. It's just very surprising the depth it was being presented to what it was. So that's why that's why I give it a B+. What about you guys? What else have you seen?
Speaking of another movie from my childhood, I brought home Who Framed Roger Rabbit on Blu-ray.
Oh,
25th anniversary of that movie. That is crazy. Because I think the special effects in that movie still look great for what they are.
that movie blew me away.
Oh yeah,
when I was a kid, like just
it's still a lot of fun to watch. It looks great, obviously, being new digital transfer.
yeah, I would like to see that on Blu-ray.
Yeah, the end sequence still. Every time I see that, like the whole the start of the sequence where Christopher Lloyd's coming down that conveyor belt or whatever, and his theme song's playing, and it's just like it just reminded me of when I was a kid, and that whole end segment just scared the crap.
Yeah, it's
out of me.
creepy.
He gets run over by that steamroller, and
it's like long and does all the screams and
yeah, and then he just blows himself back up, and the eyes pop out. And
yeah,
I would always just either leave the room or cover my eyes and just like listen from the hallway.
yeah. What is with Zemeckis and Spielberg just thinking like, oh, these are nice kid movies. Let's just throw a really terrifying scene in.
Maybe
it was just the '80s. I don't know. Like the '80s, they just seem like
they are kids movies to me because I watched them when I was a kid. But I can see obviously how it's progressed in the last 20 years that they probably aren't.
Oh, I guess kids today probably would be watching like Pirates of the Caribbean or Lord of the Rings, and they'll probably think maybe some scary scenes in there too. I don't know. Probably not good examples, but
I'm pretty positive that I've never seen that movie, Who Framed Roger
Oh.
Rabbit. I remember. I was thinking maybe I'd seen it, but I think it was teased. Like there was a short of it at the beginning of
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, yeah. And it came out shortly after that, but I don't think I ever saw that movie.
I didn't mean to ruin that.
No, it's
But
fine.
It'll creep you
I just-
out. It'll creep Henry out.
Sometimes I surprise myself with the movies I haven't seen.
No, it's a great one.
I guess speaking of Spielberg too, like those guys are the reason that PG-13 now
Yeah.
exists because Temple of Doom and Gremlins.
So that's hard and kind of soft. But let's see. Yesterday I watched Zero Dark 30. 'cause I didn't see it in the theater or anything. But I liked it. I was really it flew by for me. It was I don't know. It's a really it was more character driven than I was expecting, which I kind of appreciated more. It just wasn't jargon the whole time, and really well directed. Like, just I don't know. You just kind of get a sense of how much time and work it took to get to certain spots, and following dead ends, and losing comrades on the way, and just really good. And then that ending, the climax sequence is just spectacular, and good performances, and I don't know, I really liked it. Just kind of got you in that headset of like what it must have been like to be part of the CIA, during that time, or part of that team.
Did you see that in the theater?
No, I saw it after it was out.
Okay.
But Jessica Chastain, that definitely was one of the better performances of last year. And like you said, that
ending scene with her is great.
And that last 30 minutes or whatever, when the climax is, you're on the edge of your seat, you know what's going to happen, but...
Yeah. Well, and I'm not gonna lie, those torture scenes in the beginning were really hard to watch, or just really uncomfortable. I don't know, I know and it wasn't political either. That's what I think a lot of people were wanting it to be, but it never really was, thank goodness. But, I really, really enjoyed it. I really recommend it for anybody. And really great cast and everything too. My reviews for the 3 movies, since I didn't do it, Rebel Without a Cause, I give an A, and then Summer with Monica, an A minus, and then I would do Zero Dark 30, probably a good strong B plus, almost A minus. Those would be my right now. So.
I also watched it, and I'm pretty sure you guys have both seen this. This is 40. I appreciated it, and I really, the more I think about it, I think it was pretty good. I think they kind of went a little far in some instances, but I don't think it's that far-fetched to think that some people act that way either, or portray that on screen either. But I thought it was really good. It was an interesting story. How they I bet you I say interesting story every time we do one of these, but how they they played into each other in certain aspects of life, and then they didn't. They just were totally disconnected, and it didn't really make a lot of sense to me that they kept talking about all these money situations, and then they were having this fully catered birthday party for him, and they both drove nice cars.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions I have about that movie,
but I think some people that age, obviously older people than us, act that way, and it's just a part of life. I think it's just, I don't think that movie was that far-fetched, and I kind of appreciated that about a movie, considering, what it was being portrayed as, so.
Yeah, you either love her, well, I guess I shouldn't say love or hate with Judd Apatow, but there's a lot of people who just don't like his movies, and I don't know, there's a lot of stupid things that happen in his movies, plot-wise, or they go on for too long. But I think his writing is still really strong, and his pop culture references are all pretty funny. Like there's a good anybody who's seen the series Lost, there's a good Lost gag that runs throughout the entire movie of This Is 40. So that made me laugh. That I don't remember if it was Pearl Jam that we were talking about this the other day, where he's just like, this is real music, and he plays Pearl.
It's Soundgarden.
Oh yeah,
that's how that Here Comes the Rooster.
Oh, Alice in Chains.
Alice in Chains. Yeah. Sorry,
guys.
Yeah. Sorry, 90s people.
No, it was interesting too about how it's.
Well, yeah, because that's how I feel about a certain person we work with. That's how I feel Morgan is with with his wife sometimes. I just would feel, and they're both great people, but
yeah.
just every couple has that,
Well,
Some will like some really poppy, and some will like really hard and metal.
and I can totally relate how like some of those fight scenes in that movie, just the physical, or not the physical, but just the verbal fights go on. But I think, you know, some people just can't be adult enough to just end an argument. They have to feel like they need to. They feel like they need to win it, you know. And I think that happens in life, and I kind of really appreciated it. That's what it was in the movie. I mean, that's exactly how things can be sometimes. I think they nailed that right on the head. And I was really impressed with Judd Apatow's daughters. I wasn't really expecting much, so maybe I should watch it again. But I thought they did pretty good, especially the older one. She was obviously giving the swearing leash, and she went for it. I thought that was pretty good performances by them. I don't know if they have any prior acting experience, but
they've been in every one of his movies.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is another thing he should probably. I don't know. Personally, I think he should stop putting his family in movies. Mm-hmm. He should kind of grow out of that, because they've been in the last. I think they were in. Yeah, they were in Knocked Up. They were in Funny People. They were in.
Mm-hmm.
This is 40. I don't know if they were in any other ones, but.
The only thing I didn't like about that movie, one thing I really didn't like, was Al Brooks' character. I mean, he's a great actor and great comedian, but his character just drove me nuts. Paul Rudd's dad.
Yeah.
I wanted to hit him. So.
John Lithgow did the same thing for me. Like, those guys didn't have to be in that movie. Mm-hmm. John Lithgow or Albert Brooks just dragged the plot. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe, and ultimately added minutes to the end of it, I think. But I don't know. I think it all made pretty good sense for me. Just a couple more things I want to bring up here. I tried to watch the British Shameless, and I maybe would have liked it had I not seen the American one. And this is by no means a stab against British people, but nobody in that British Shameless is very appealing. Everybody is so hard to look at. I mean, the American one, all the kids are cute, you know. Mm-hmm. All the adults are somewhat attractive, besides Frank, and yeah, it was just really strange. I don't know. And James McAvoy as the Steve character, I just don't know. Anyway, but obviously the British did it first, and we expounded on it. I think maybe better so. But I only watched the first episode, and which is the American one is like a carbon copy of it. But it was just an interesting thought. I know there's better looking British actors out there, and you know, yeah. You can't start with top notch salary people, obviously. I also watched a documentary called Freakonomics. It's based on a book. It's basically that people that take economic theories, numbers, and whatnot, and just apply them to things that happen in life. And I thought it was really, really good. The more and more I watched it, the more I was just super into it, and I think it could be a really cool like TV series, maybe like once a week or once a month or something like that. The guys that did it were, you know, obviously brilliant economic minds, and they talked about things like the lowering crime rate in the 90s was due to the legalization of abortion in the 70s, which was really, really kind of cool. And I mean, and they make some very good points. You know,
they talk about
uncover a sumo wrestling cheating scam, and it's pretty interesting how they go about it and stuff.
They're talking about like how much does your name matter.
Yeah, that was a very good. It's like I think it's kind of like 7 or 8 shorts, and they're all directed by different people. And the name one was done by Morgan Spurlock, who obviously knows a thing or two about documentaries, and it's quite evident. And that was a really interesting one too.
I'm trying to think which one was that.
It's 8 different episodes.
Oh no, he did the name one.
He did the name one. Yeah. They're just like, you know, like 12, 15-minute shorts just about these different things. I mean, the two main guys kind of, you know, run it, but they have different people kind of direct the scenes or whatever.
And they also talked about like the prison population and stuff too, versus how many people how America has more people incarcerated than most of Europe,
Mm-hmm.
Combined. Just talking about stuff. It's really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Fair warning too, the sumo wrestling is a lot of close-up camera shots, so don't be eating or don't watch it if you can't handle it. 'Cause
No yellow pudding.
There's a lot of close-up. I mean, they get right up in there, and I mean they get right up in there.
Saloon.
I attempted to watch the movie Prometheus last night.
Mm.
This is my final thing I want to say. I don't know what happened to me, but within the first couple minutes of that movie, I felt like I was the producer, and I'm just like, every time they would do something, I'm like, how much did that cost? I mean, and maybe if the movie was like really good and fast paced and action, because it was really just kind of slow. And I'm not going to grade it because they didn't finish it. I only watched like the first hour. But just all these little things. I mean, obviously it's Ridley Scott, and he has a backing, and a lot of people watch it. I think you guys have both seen that movie, right?
Yeah.
But just every time they would do something, I'm just like, well, there's $1,000. I don't know why that changed into my head or whatever when I started watching that movie, but maybe just because of the lack of intensity in it, it was just, I don't know. It seemed like a waste of money to me. I mean, that movie had to cost a lot of money, and it just really wasn't that great a story, and
It was a good return for Ridley Scott into sci-fi.
yeah.
The movie looks great.
Oh, fantastic.
Like all the special effects and whatnot look great, but I don't know. I think being written by Damon Lindelof from the series Lost, and that, I don't know. There's way too many questions that don't get answered, and it sets up for a sequel, and I don't know. That wasn't very. I think my hopes were too high for that one, and they just got pulled out from under me. So it looks great though. It's fun to.
It's better.
It's fun to look at.
Yeah.
It looked great, but I thought the acting was still kind of cheesy. Like even Naomi Rapace wasn't that great in it. It was just, I don't know. Sorry, Naomi, I love you. You know I do.
Fassbender though. Fassbender was probably the better part of the movie.
Yeah.
Which one was he? See the other doctor?
He was
Or the blonde?
the blonde
Oh,
android.
the android.
And yeah, the whole thing too, like, is this a prequel to Alien? And it's like, it's a prequel to a prequel to a prequel, but then it's kind of like if they're on this side of out of the universe,
The
then
year is 29.
they're on this side. It's just, I'd rather just watch Alien any day.
Yeah, because at least there's something. I mean, does that movie get more intense the way it goes on?
It gets pretty intense, but I mean, I don't know.
I was hoping for Sigourney Weaver. And why was Charlize Theron so mad the whole time? Was that explained? But anyway.
Yeah, kind of towards the end.
Alright. We're kind of losing our edge here. But anyway. Prometheus. Lots of money spent.
Yeah.
This has been Talking Movies. I can't go forward to any of this without saying something about what happened to Boston yesterday. Obviously, there was two big explosions at the end of the Boston Marathon, and I want to send our hearts and prayers out to those people involved, and hope everybody can come back to health and whatnot. It's kind of a scary situation, and we want to just send our condolences to the people that were injured and lives that were lost. So,
Absolutely.
thank you, and have a good day.